I mean, what else did we expect? I mean, if you were listening to me and you were tuned in, locked in, you would have took my betting advice. I said rounds 1 through 3, if Boots did what he had to do. And, yeah, there was nothing to really question about what was going to go on in this fight. I mean, Lima Beans, he went in there and he got his check, and Boots handed him some Philly cheesesteaks after the fight. I mean, it wasn't anything to expect. You never heard of this Lima Beans guy, and that's why I called him Lima Beans. I don't know him. I never heard of him. I seen one little clip of him when he had a fight overseas, and he looked like a 2-pack of ass. So that's where he ended up on the ground. Now, the next question is, when it comes to Jaron Boots, and it's because he did make a claim. He said that he's the guy at 154 and that was his division. Now, what is next for Jaron Ennis, right? Now, first of all, let me just backtrack. Actually, what do we learn from the fight? What do we learn from Jaron Ennis putting on 10-ounce gloves, and contrary to 8-ounce gloves? For those of y'all that don't know, stepping up in weight, moving from 147 to 154. What was the difference for Jaron's Boots Ennis? What did we see? What was it that was new? What did he add to his game? To be quite frank, we didn't learn anything about Boots Ennis right now. And I'm not being a hater, and I'm not trying to, come off too overly critical. He did say he wanted to tune up, and this was what I called it, a showcase in front of the home crowd. And we didn't learn anything, actually. We just knew and learned what we already knew, which was Boots is super athletic, super entertaining, and he's going to put on a show with the right opponent in front of his home crowd. And that's exactly what he did. He didn't take long to do it either. It took all but 1 minute and 45 seconds into the fight to make his point and to make his claim and to announce that he has arrived to the 154-pound division, which is junior middleweight. Now, where does he go from here? That's what everybody wants to know, right? And everybody was screaming Vergil Ortiz, Vergil Ortiz, Vergil Ortiz, to the point where Boots said, hey, y'all know what's next? Vergil Ortiz. Now, time out. I just want y'all to kind of think and just listen to me for a second. Now, Vergil Ortiz, yeah, namesake, that's the fight that everybody kind of wants to see, because for a while now, Boots and Vergil, they've been kind of tethered together, ever since Vergil was at 140, and Boots was at 47, Vergil and him, they kind of been, their names have been brought up, but, they were in different weight classes. Then, Boots, Vergil are both at welterweight together, which is 147, and, they're not title holders because Earl had majority of the belts. He had 3. Bud had the WBO belt. And then they came for an undisputed clash, wiped everything out. Bud, we all know the Bud story. There's no need to backtrack on that. So now, Vergil's supposed to get the shot at Stanionis. Didn't happen. He had the illness, which is rhabdomyosis. And we never really got a clear answer on who's better, Boots or Vergil, because Vergil moved on to 54. Boots stayed at welterweight, ended up getting the Stanionis fight, right? Unified, decided that he wasn't going to go after the Brian Norman fight after the whatever complications happened there. And now we're at this point, right? But the fork in the road may be, Vergil put out that interesting statement. If you haven't checked my last video, check it out. That he might be, his time at 54 may not be too long. It might be a sip of tea. And he might be going to 160, which could put the fight in jeopardy. So I get why Boots is calling him out, right? But for me, I feel like as a fan, not even a fan, I'm just going to put my promoter hat on. It looks like this. I feel like that fight should be marinated a little bit. Actually, you know what? Forget the marination. It's what the fans want. They want Boots versus Vergil, right? And I feel like both of them are two cats in the same alley. They suffer from the same thing. They haven't really fought anybody. If you really think about it, neither one. It's just that Vergil has been through 3 weight divisions and everybody treats him like he's a 3-weight champion when he has not rubbed 2 nickels together, nevertheless 2 belts. Boots is the same thing. You know, he has gotten 2 belts. One of them was an email champion, and then he did take somebody else's belt. So you give him a little bit more credit, but he doesn't have that name on his resume. Vergil is going to be the name on his resume, right? When the fight does happen. If it does happen. And that's if, a big if, Vergil can get past Erickson Lubin, which is at the end of the month. Look out for the video on that one. So, if the Vergil fight doesn't happen, I feel like if Boots wants to go out there and stamp that he is actually, in fact, what he says he is, the best fighter at 154 pounds, I got a fighter for him. The IBF World Champion, Bakhram Murtazaliev. Yes, I got his name right. That's who he should be fighting. If not Vergil, right? Because the fans want Vergil, give the fans what they want. You go in there, and I have an opinion about the fight. I'm going to be totally impartial when it comes to predictions because I only give predictions on the eve of the fight. So, and I could be wrong, right? Who am I? So, I feel like the Vergil fight is what should be next. Boots should be going out there, giving the fans what they want, give them a show. Obviously, there is going to be no home court advantage, and I think that that fight should be on the West Coast. It's a Vegas fight, big money, and it should be a good show. Now, who do I have winning? I don't want to announce that like I just said, but I feel like stylistically, it's, if everything is right, it could go in Boots' favor early, and later on is when you're going to see Vergil kind of turn it up. That's all I'll be able to give you. But let me know who you want to see Boots fight. Bakhram, do you want to see him fight Fundora, who I can't stand? Do you want to see him fight potentially Erickson Lubin if you know, he gets past Vergil? Tim Tszyu, maybe Earl Spence. Jamel Charlo called him out. Also, we have Keith Thurman. Hey, do you want to see him move up to 160? Who knows? Like, subscribe, share. We building up from the ground up. And catch y'all later.